Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. We continue the conversation right here, and now we have joining us in studio Sterling Henderson, Director of SVH Audio Publishing, who definitely is here to continue to assist in making some good changes in Trinidad and Tobago, speaking about the media landscape. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you, Natasha. Good morning, J-Ron. Good morning to everyone on set and looking on.
Oh, such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Now, let's talk about this. So, through your company, you're having a 6-week course which is designed to educate participants with the fundamentals of writing for media. Before we get into the syllabus and so much more, what made you decide that now is a critical time that this should be done?
Well, that's a complex answer. I mean, life and its circumstances. I had always intended at some point to engage in teaching.
Right.
I'd done it before. Really?
Sometimes Siri just does that.
Wow.
No worries.
Yeah, let me just take this off. No, we can't talk. Oh, God, this is horrible. And
These things happen.
Phone.
And technology just has a mind of its own sometimes.
Kind of. Yeah, we'll put that there for safety, sorry. Yeah, I'd always intended to teach. Yeah, and I had experience with the Institute for Broadcasting Careers, where I used to do a module called Writing for Radio. And in venturing out on my own, because as the economy dictates, one just can't have one job anymore.
Of course.
But apart from that, you know, I have a lot of education. I have a certificate in media and communications from UWI Open Campus. I have a first-class honors degree in mass communication from Carimac at Mona, UWI. And I'm completing a master's at Lockjack in business development and innovation. So I've been in class a lot, and I have an idea of what it takes to keep a class interesting and all of those things. But at the end of the day, it's like Newsroom 101, what I do. You know, it's an introduction to how to prepare for the newsroom. And while it may say focusing on radio, the fact is it's radio relative to how it's done in television and relative to how it's done in print. So while we focus on radio, we do explore other avenues of media, including social media, podcasting, and the likes.
And something that's so important when you see the rise of it as well, but it all marries and comes back down to the same thing, which is good broadcasting, something that's so important. Now, let's speak a little bit about the syllabus, because it sounds quite condensed, and it's a 6-week course. What can we look forward to?
It's 5 weeks of online training.
Okay.
So once we agree that you're taking the course, I send you a link. We meet every Saturday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, and I treat with a lot of press releases.
Okay.
Because as I tell the students, I'm trying to get them to think like a journalist. You know, if you wanted to make a pants, you wouldn't go buy material and sit down in front of a sewing machine and hope you know what you're doing. No? Right? So simply, if you want to write news and present better on air, you have to have some form of training. And not just vocal training or things like color and you know, but writing, because a lot of what we do is content and it's writing. I've seen people who do radio programs produce a whole script for their program, you know, as opposed to just opening the mic and saying, well, blah, 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 blah. So we teach you the foundations of how to better be prepared for a job in primarily the newsroom. Now, we know media is fluid and you may end up okay, say you get a job as an on-air presenter, and you have a 3-hour shift, but the person to read the news hasn't come. Can you read the news?
Yeah, important.
Is that a skill you think you should have as an on-air presenter?
Yeah.
Should you be able to write the news and understand the news? It's for a lot of people, not just those wanting to be in the newsroom, because I think journalism is a scary term for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't really aspire to it because they think it's something lofty, but it's writing. You know, Jones Primadera died the other day, and his son at his funeral said, reading is what got Jones into media. So if you have a like for reading, you have a like for writing, this course will develop you.
I mean, this sounds absolutely amazing. Now, as you would have mentioned, one thing we all know now is you need to wear multiple hats and multiple careers in order to survive. And something else that also has come along with that is certifications, because many times now people ask, are you certified? Can you show a copy of your certificate? Will this provide those who complete it, I should say, with a certificate moving forward?
They will get a certificate, but my thing is, I tell people, I can't promise you a job, But I promise once you get a job, you will be better prepared.
That's very
The reality is I started at a course like this in 2001, not to date myself, but I was away for 10 years in New York. I came back. I wanted to get into radio. And I went to IBC, Percy Parker Williams. I did the 6-week course or whatever it was. And that is all that it took to get me hired.
Yeah.
A certificate from IBC. And I had my job, and I've had it for 22 years now. You know, but I didn't stop there.
That's it.
And that's what I also tell the students. Don't stop here. Take a certificate program in an institution like Open Campus or a media course at SBCS. Get a degree in media because it will help you.
Now, as you mentioned that, as you said, your students, we know now that there is no age limit on students. So who is this open to? Who can attend?
When I market on social media, I put between 20 and 50.
Okay.
Yeah? And it's open to people who also want to boost their confidence in a sense. Because my belief is that education changes us.
Yeah.
The more we know, the more confident we become. Because in ourselves, we know certain things. And I make a point of sharing a lot of what I know in terms of broadcast, language, pronunciation, grammar, nouns that govern rules, and rules that govern nouns versus rules that govern verbs. I even bring in people to specialize in areas that I'm not proficient in. So I've had Dominic Kalipasad, I've had Wendell Constantine, I've had Dale Enoch, I've had Soyini Gray, I've had Sachi, I've had Wildchild, I had Arlene Holman talking about podcasting. So every 5 weeks as well, I will bring in about 2 or 3 guest lecturers, and that's determined on consensus. The students would say, okay, well, could we focus on sport or could we focus on television? And I would bring in someone in that space on the day to deliver a lecture on the specific topic. And that's also how I cover things that I am not necessarily expert in.
It's lovely that you have those coming in who are have expertise in the field, but also the fact that what you just mentioned there is the students have a say. So there's this consensus of, okay, this is what we believe we need to focus on how we can grow. Is registration already open? And if not, what are the dates?
Registration is open. People are able to register. They just have to contact me, and we discuss whatever arrangements they'd like to make. I send them the link, and they're in the class. It's really that easy.
And you said classes are on Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m. And when do classes start for, I'll say this cycle, because I'm hoping you're going to have more?
8th on Saturday.
The 8th on Saturday.
The next cycle starts on Saturday. It's every 6 weeks, and I take a little break in between, maybe 1 week. And the 6th week, what we do is tour the radio station.
Okay.
So it's 5 weeks of online training, and the 6th week, you get a more practical sense, because I find a lot of people come into newsrooms, you know, as I said, you're not going to try to make a pair of pants if you're not trained to. If people aren't trained in how to process a press release into a news story, then they're not fit for purpose. And I'm trying to get them fit for purpose. I think, as I said, people are afraid of the term journalism or media or whatever. They think it's some elite thing, but it's ordinary people, you know, who come in, do a job every day, and enjoy what they do, because I enjoy what I do, you know what I mean? And I think that it's a respectable profession and one that should maintain standards.
I agree with you on there 100% being in media, of course. One of the things, though, what I find is you said that some may see it as lofty, being in journalism, but also now that we see so many people just on social media doing their own thing, it seems as though there are some who, I dare say, are pulling away from the standard, which is why it's so important that we have this training.
Right, and even if you're going to be on social media, you're going to need guidelines as to how to properly present your information so that it has credibility and you build your brand in that way. I mean, I don't want to reference recent incidents, but, you know, recently there was a WhatsApp message going around about how much money was found at this particular person's house. And you're saying to yourself, but why am I not hearing this from the police? Why is this coming to me? And so many people want to be a part of the news. You know, they want to feed into the news, but they're not, they have no guidance, and they need guidance. And
that's something that is so important. I love also that you've mentioned podcasts particularly, because I do feel like looking at Trinidad and Tobago, we took a little while to get there, but now we are definitely fully fledged in the podcast. But you do see that need again for that conversation, even something as simple as you would have mentioned, basically going back to your standard English, how you speak, what you say, and being able to, let's say, jump from one to the other so you can continue to propel the conversation. conversation. So you shared with us the syllabus. Certificates are definitely a part of it, which is fantastic.
Yes.
I also really appreciate that you would have mentioned the need for continued training, regardless. And I think that's something that we all can invest in. Who can attend? You said anybody, 20 to 50?
Yeah, once you have an interest in the field. Because as I said, I think it's a transformative course. People have said things like, I've learned.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important to me because that's what I aim to do. I aim to have you learn. And so I like to say, you know, when you get a bachelor's degree, a degree is a movement.
Yeah.
You know, you've moved a degree. And after this course, you're now certified in particular things. And I think the information that I share is very useful. I think it's very easy to consume, but I also do believe that there's need for repetition. So a lot of times at the class, we use press releases.
Right.
So I will take the press release, give it to the students, give them the guidelines, have them write the story, and then present the story. So I get to hear them read, I get to correct them, and it's a immersive experience in that regard.
That's something that's so good as well. Just thinking about that, you know, when you do go through your training and you get the press release and they say, okay, present it now, and you have to go up in front of everybody, you're like, but the thing is, you can never get it wrong. You can only learn, which is so important.
Yes.
What is the contribution for this, Sterling?
It's a mere 2,000 TT dollars.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And especially when you've mentioned some of the people who are going to be coming in and speaking to you, and you get a tour of radio, and the returns that come out of it. Something interesting that piqued my interest with this particularly was speaking about the fact that this is also a great way to build your confidence.
Yes.
So this is also great for business people.
Yes.
I see you also would have referenced public speaking as well. Do you find a lot of people come in outside for those who desire to be in journalism, those who are ready to, let's say, move forward in their corporate career?
Yeah, and I've been approached by people who want specifically to be able to increase their public speaking performance. And I mean, not scientifically, but I think because of the way the course is designed, your confidence grows.
Of course.
And that's a huge part of presenting because you would know. I mean, I've mastered ceremonies, a lot of shows, and I know I still get nervous. I know have to talk myself into getting into that place.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you go to do an ad. I've been doing ads for how many years, but I'm yet to get a client who says, okay, on the first take.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean? So it's all part of it. And like Dominic Lee-Prasad, I would bring in to discuss public speaking. Wendell Constantine came in and dropped some very important points with the class. I mean, the classes were really impressed by the guests that we've had as well, and I'm really thankful to all of them who've been a part of it. I hope I haven't forgot anyone. Anyway,
that's honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, yes.
Well, Sterling, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you in studio, and thank you for this offering as well.
Yes.
Definitely going to impact our community, that is for sure. But before we close, where can we contact you for more information?
Well, of course, all social media platforms. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Sterling Henderson, Instagram, X, TikTok. Yeah, I'm great, but I'm on all of them. Yeah, I take advantage of all of them because I do enjoy social media. But also my phone number, you can WhatsApp me at 689-8107. That's 689-8107. WhatsApp me at any time, and I'll be in touch.
Wonderful. Well, again, Sterling, thank you for joining us.
The pleasure was mine.
And I hope you have an excellent day and you have a great carnival season as well.
Oh, that's in the making.
Oh, definitely.
That's definitely in the making. All right, thank you, Natasha.
Our pleasure.
Jaron.
Sterling Henderson, Director of SVH Audio Publishing, sharing with us a Writing for Media workshop that's starting this weekend. So make sure if you want to go and register, send a WhatsApp to 689-8107 and stay tuned because your birthdays are coming up after this break.
Your best life is a test. Shift your mindset.